Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2019 Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. This is the second race between WillardJBradley and Tranq in the first week of group stages. Willard won the first one, which meant that Tranq gets to choose one setting to change for the second race, and he has chosen to make this a fast Ganon seed instead of a defeat Ganon seed. What that means is the pyramid is already open. As soon as the runners get to the Dark World, they could drop in to fight Ganon. If they do that, Ganon will call them a dingus and ask them if they have wax in their ears. However, as soon as they get that 7th crystal, they can drop in to fight Ganon and actually do the fight without having to go through Ganon's tower. We will not be seeing Aga 2. We will almost certainly not be seeing Ganon's tower, period. Anyway, I am Drosy1. I am here with Wolflink370. How are you doing?
Good evening, everyone, and it's 0370. But anyway, that's just a minor detail. But yeah, we have a fast Ganon tonight, as Drosy said. Could not even see Aga at all. So apparently these two don't like wizards.
Or at least Tranq doesn't, since he was the one who picked the settings. I looked at their history, and they were in 2 quals together. Willard finished 8 minutes ahead of Tranq in one qual, 4.5 in the other. In their first head-to-head race, Willard beat Tranq by 7 minutes. So Tranq is really hoping that by doing a change like this, he can perhaps have a change of fortune against Willard.
So no game inside break here as we get started here. And 10 arrows in the non-sanctuary Link's house.
Oh, and we get a check that was a 5/6 crystal on Desert, a regular crystal on Eastern, and the green pendant on Tower of Hera.
Yep, that's what I saw. So, as also a note here, if Tranq can actually pull up a win here in this fast Ganon mode, Willard will be able to decide to twist things even further, or not change anything at all. Or they can just make it the original rules again. Twist it back the way it came. 20 rupees is on the uncle for now. It'd be interesting to see what happens here in this game too.
Yeah, and the winner of this series gets to be in the winner's bracket next week, while the loser will be in the loser's bracket. It is a double elimination, so if you win twice, you advance to brackets. If you lose twice, you're out of the running. And the people who do 1 and 1 will have to face each other in the third week.
So, just as a reminder for those who might be new here, this is just the group stages here, and we've broken all of the groups down into miniature brackets. So this is Group S, Willard is the first seed, Tranq is the 4th seed of this group. And all that means is that Willard was in the top 32 of our qualified runners.
Which is not surprising because in last year's fall tournament, Willard was 3rd place finisher overall. Oh good, the crab is throwing out bombs, so the runners won't have to go shopping in Kakariko when they get there.
Have to run all over the place though. Alright, is Aga 1 required? Let's get this out of the way. Nope. That is 10 arrows. That is not required. Could still be required for our Dark World axes, though.
But that's a ways off because they first need to find weapons.
Exactly.
Impressive how they've been using exactly the same routing so far.
I mean, this is pretty much a standard rating. Oh, wow. Willard got a rare drop from the crab. 20 rupees from that. Indicated Samari as well to round things out here in the
well, that's a weapon, after a fashion.
Yeah, it is a weapon. It is something that the old man can give, that your uncle can give you in standard. You know, it's also a weapon? Bombs.
Yes, but it's a lot swaggier to do mini Moldorm Cave with Cane of Samari than with bombs when they get there.
That I will agree with. And yeah, there's just tons of bombs. There's even the bombs in the poultry, so they will not have to buy bombs necessarily this seed as they keep their counts low.
And answering chat, yes, it is 7 crystals to open GT, and since 7 crystals also makes Ganon vulnerable, that means that it is incredibly unlikely that there is anything they would need in GT at that point.
Yeah, the only way GT could be even remotely required is if somehow, as we get our Moon Pearl and a Fairy, somehow we have 3 swords in Ganon's Tower. I highly doubt that's going to happen. But who knows? We don't know.
And the early bottle's always nice for being able to check Sick Kid while you're going through CAC.
Indeed. So far, the Moon Pearl and the bottle are of the note so far. Half magic, though.
Which comes with a free magic fill, which is really nice when your primary weapon is Cane of Samaria. That's something like 32 blocks they can make. And there's another magical weapon, the Fire Rod.
Yep, Fire Rod is pretty good.
As well as the lamp in there.
So both fire swords and a green potion as well. That's also a vanilla spot for a bottle. A lot of fire, but not a lot of actual weapons. Early lamp does worry me, though. Another heart container here in the chicken hut.
Yeah, it could be pointing to Aga, but we still need either a sword and a cape or 2 swords.
Yeah, ideally 2 swords in this case.
And in that time frame, we might well get a glove and a hammer. Oh, there's the hammer, speaking of. So yes, we are glove away from rendering Aga quite moot. Also a bit more reliable of a weapon than the fire rod or the cane.
Oh,
ooh, and there's a bow.
and a glove. Okay, there's Darkhold access. Not even 7 minutes in? What is this? Oh, Aga's dead.
Yeah. So you don't need to worry about whatever that early lamp portends.
But this kind of also worries me, because where's our swords? We're not gonna get a sword for who knows how long now. That Darkhold opened up really fast.
And I'm assuming the boots are gonna have to show up at some point relatively soon.
Well, for all we know, those could be the silver arrows. Bows are progressive here. They might intend for us to get a bow in order to get the boots to get that other bow.
That's true. Depends where the other bow is. But yeah, since version 31 has come out with the progressive bows, we have seen a number of bow-locked bows. It's always amusing when that happens. So it looks like Tranq is going to take the regular Light World South Shore checks rather than, say, going to Dark World and doing Hype Cave, which is what it looks like Willard's going to be doing.
I mean, prioritizing your early spheres to make sure you don't miss anything important. But Withers and Dark World here, Turtle Rock and Ice Palace are our 2 other pendants. 5-6 at Palace of Darkness. The rest are all crystals. So we do need to get our hands on the flute and at least 1 medallion.
And we absolutely need the bow, and the hook shot, and the mirror, and the flippers.
And you know what we don't need to do? Any of the dungeons on Death Mountain. Hera is a pendant. Turtle Rock's a pendant. Ganon's Tower is irrelevant this week because of Fast Ganon.
That is true. We could, depending on item placement, we could theoretically get through the seed without ever going up Death Mountain.
And unfortunately, Hype Cave lives up to its current reputation. It used to be good, but lately has not lived up to its namesake.
And I guess Willard's gonna check Stumpy and maybe the dig game. Not that Mini Moldworm Cave had much of anything either.
Let's gonna check the digging game. 30 digs, maybe one of those will pull up an item that we need.
Willard only just barely has enough money to afford the dig game. Oh, he's gonna get more money.
Oh yeah, he's doing this. Look at that second curtain. He's firing right just as it passes the target passes the second curtain. It does desync after a little while, but this is a fairly consistent way to play and win the game. And now he's got plenty of money for Dark World.
First dig. Wow.
I looked away for a brief moment. What was it?
Vanilla.
Art piece. Okay. Not bad. Not great, but not bad.
Willard didn't bother picking it up.
That's also understandable.
So we got the key in the back of Escape, so Tranq's able to traverse Escape backwards, and he finds the book in the Dark Cross chest.
That's an interesting
That means
find.
If Desert is not boots locked, it's full clearable now.
Could be boots locked. It also puts the pedestal potentially in a readable position, which, if it's anything important, could be there. Immediately jumping out of me is the flute. Although the mirror could also be there. But it's way too soon to call if this is a pet seed or not. We need a little bit more information.
Yeah, let's wait until they finish all the early sphere checks at least. Thievestown and Skull Woods are also full clearable already, and those are both crystals. Willard having a bit of trouble burning that last mini Moldorm.
So let's see if Willard decides to go over to Ice Rod Cave here.
Looks like he's going that way.
Tranq's gonna be doing the dig game.
Willard should watch out for those sand crabs. Okay, he manages to.
Yeah, those sand crabs deal 2 hearts of damage when they're in green mail. Not exactly pleasant. Only 20 rubies. We don't have a lot to go on, do we? We can go to the pyramid and see what the item is there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of things available. We have the desert area, we have Saha and the front of Eastern. We have Skullwoods and Thieves, as mentioned, and Village of Outcasts. We actually have the first couple of checks on Death Mountain, but again, since as far as we know, nothing on Death Mountain's required. I don't think the runners are gonna rush to get up there.
Well, we know the dungeons aren't required, but there could still be progression in Paradox Cave, Caves, Hookshot Caves, Super Bunny, Spiral. There's still a good amount of locations up there. So I want to put it past the Death Mountain has something, but I would be amazed and elated if we didn't have to touch Turtle Rock, Hera, or GT this season.
It also depends when the Hookshot and Mirror turn up.
There's another bow there, and whether throwing a bottle into the water, getting another fairy, for releasing its fairy.
I think you meant another bottle there, yes?
Huh? He released a fairy. He released his bottle of fairy and got another bottle of fairy.
Yeah, you said another bow.
Oh, my mistake. And Willard's just gonna leave. Staying in Bait Flipper mode. Probably thinking hobo and then save warp.
And check the island while we're at it.
Well, it looks like Desert is actually not boots locked.
That is true. Make
I
sure
stand
there's.
corrected.
It is logically boots locked. Tranq could go to the back and clear it if he so chooses, though.
Yes. And we know at least one item's there. Oh, hello, hello. That's a Bombos medallion. Well, there's just sequence broke from the hobo.
1 in 3 chance that it's useful.
I mean, we do need a medallion. That could be the medallion we need. It also helps against Cold Stare, but we already had half magic, so it wasn't that important that we had it.
And Tranq picking up his third bottle, I guess he really wants to stock the fairies and potions.
I mean, it makes sense. The potions in this game are pretty good. I wouldn't say so much about the fairies in this game, because the fairies are, while they automatically revive you, they're only a partial heal.
Yeah, it's 7 hearts. But yes, for those of you who might not be familiar with how the logic works here, what Tranq is currently doing is out of logic because the game always assumes you use the keys in the worst possible ways. So theoretically, Tranq could have taken that key in the tile room, gone back to the front of Desert, opened a locked door there, and then he'd be locked out of the back of Desert until he gets the boots to get that other key off the torch.
And for all we know, the boots can be in GT. So this is the
No, the
founder.
boots can't be in GT because you need the crystal from Desert to unlock GT.
Ah, fair enough, fair enough. But this is still, regardless, the more logically sound play is what he's doing.
And if Lanmo has an item, you also know that the boots can't be behind that item.
Alright, let's see what we got here. First crystal, 17 minutes in. And it's the map! Both items are locked behind the boots here, and we don't know what they are. Oh man, this is gonna be a thing, isn't it?
Hope they're not important.
I mean, we can always come back.
Willard's about to pick up his book.
Book could still be valuable, despite the fact that... Well, it was available allowed us to get the crystal out of Desert Palace, but that's, again, not in logic without our boots.
Right, and we don't have access to either tablet yet.
That is something we did not want to see, though.
Yeah, that just, I mean... If Bombos is access to Turtle Rock, technically we're East Death Mountain and Mitts away from Turtle Rock access.
Yeah, so we need either the mirror or the hookshot the timesmiths, and actually also a sword, so he actually used the medallion.
Oh, right. It so rarely comes up, I didn't think about that.
Is this gonna be a pet check from Willard? Or is this gonna be... He's heading up that way. Yeah, I think this is a pet check from Willard. Alright, let's see what we got here on the pedestal. Is that ice rod actually gonna matter for this seed? No, it's not. That's a shield.
And Tranq's about to find out the same thing now that he saw that ice rod.
Well, it's a good thing that this shield isn't not a... That pet is dead, but... Doesn't mean the
Doesn't rule out...
Doesn't rule out any of the appendages themselves.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't rule out, say, flippers sitting on Trinix.
Or the bow on Laser Bridge. The first intended bow, that is. Because those have been seeds like that before. There could be a lot of things that Steve can throw at our runners here. Well, let's not jump to conclusions.
Yeah, I think it is time to do Village of Outcasts, Thieves Town, and Skull Woods. I think these runners agree.
Yeah. It's about time to get some dungeons clears in.
Actually, we can't finish Skull Woods without the sword. I just remembered.
Yeah, that is true. However, we can still check around to see if we can get the 2 items in there early on. Both foes cannot be on Laser Bridge. We know one is on the library itself. Boots locked. Alright. See house for us tonight. Has a sword! Willard making the right call. Also has a shield in front of him.
Yeah, so those houses in Village of Outcasts have really been coming through today.
Yeah, I believe the shield was in the treasure chest game, and the sword was in Sea House.
Though I really shouldn't call a Fisher-Price shield coming through.
I mean, I'd rather have the fire shield, to be perfectly honest with you.
Then you can beat 3 pendant dungeons and pull it off of Ped.
No, that's gonna be the mirror shield. That's always gonna be the mirror shield, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, okay.
Wow, nothing but keys here in the front of Skull Woods.
And we haven't seen the big key, have we?
No. Tranq has to leave. There is one potential spot that the big key could be, and that is in the vanilla location. Speaking of big keys, we just found the big key for Thieves Town.
The Skullwoods big key could also be locked in its own chest.
That is also true. It is one of the 2 big keys that are not required. And yeah, yeah, there is vanilla big key. And yeah, as a reminder, folks, this is version 31. There is new logic in place that puts a small key. The guaranteed small key in Pinball Room is no longer a guarantee.
But it was still there in this seed.
Yeah, exactly. Tranq can set up a bomb jump here. Pretty standard fare.
Willard's well on his way to the back of Thieves Town.
Oh, hello, hello. There's the Ether Medallion now. And that one's in logic.
Well, one way or another, we're getting close to likelihood of being able to enter Mire once we can get to the Mire area.
Indeed. question is, where is the flute going to end up?
That said, even being able to enter Mire, we can't do anything in Mire without the boots or hookshot.
Exactly. Frank's gonna enter Thieves Town, check Sea House, and be very, very disappointed with his routing decision to go up the Skull Woods. Granted, he did not know this until this now, but now he's got to walk all the way back to the Skull Woods to go clean that up.
And the second Skull Woods item is going to be in the back, too.
I think both of them are. Oh no, we found Ether. Right, derp. How quickly I forget. Oh, there was a heart piece here. I guess the shield was in brewery. My mistake.
We haven't really seen anything useful in Thieves Town yet.
Not really, no. And it's going to continue that trend.
And I haven't been counting items, so I don't know if Blind's going to have another item on him, or if that was the fourth one.
Well, I saw the map at some point in the first 4 chests. So I think Blind has a compass. We'll see. As Willard begins the fight.
And Blind tells us that he got his tires fixed for a flat rate.
And this is a beautiful Blind fight here. On the script, doing the dance right, getting hit a couple of times, but Blind dies on the spotlight. And wow, okay, there was a 4th item there, and it was the Master Sword.
Guess the compass was somewhere in the back.
Must have been an attic then. I don't recall that chest. Doesn't really matter.
Okay, so Ganon is now beatable once we get the 7 crystals.
Yeah, beatable, but not an ideal situation, I will admit.
No, but it does mean that we are guaranteed not to see GT today, because a runner isn't going to go into GT looking for Tempered if they're still at Master Sword by then.
Yeah, and they need a bow before they can get crystals to enter Ganon's Tower as well. So either they'll find the boots first, or they will find... Well, they're going to need to find the boots regardless.
Just a vanilla piece of heart on Bumper Ledge today, Willard showed us.
Yeah, we saw that from Tranq earlier. So... what could be...
Well, Willard's about to dig up a lot of keys.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. There's not really... Yeah, no, GT is dead. Can't hide up anything. We already have everything we need for the other dungeons. And we need the mirror and the hookshot for Swamp. So yeah, GT's just filled with junk.
I mean, if the Bowen Library is the one required by logic, it could have silvers, but again, they're not going to go into GT looking for silvers.
No. Now, the worst case scenario here is that GT has this other progressive bow, and both of the other progressive swords. So it'll be a Force Master Silverless. Alright, so this should be the small key here. So, unlike Tranq, Willard will be able to clear Skull Woods here. So we'll be able to see what the other item is. Where do these runners go next is the question I'm trying to answer for myself right now. I think the play is into the eastern region. Check Sahasrara stuff, check eastern, even though they can't clear it, and then check House of Darkness and do what they can there.
Willard already checked Sahasrara. There was nothing, though he didn't go into Eastern.
Yeah, but I'm specifically saying it in that order, as we see Tranq taking down Blind and getting the Master Sword. Because without the mirror, it's more ideal to do Eastern then Pod than the usual Pod Eastern play. Doing it the other way around.
Well, and Pod could be bow-locked. I mean, the runners sure have enough bottles to break logic there, but it'll also tell them something about, you know, where the boots could possibly be.
So the second item is in that back chest there. And Zora is technically in logic. We can't forget that. Neither runner has seen Zora yet.
Yeah, they just need to do a... Well, they could Houlihan. They don't have flippers, so Houlihan's easy enough. Actually, I'm a bit surprised Willard didn't do that. He often likes to start his games with a Houlihan.
I mean, probably based it on the first chest. Oh, geez, okay. Yeah, I think we're going up the mountain.
Yeah. We now have full Light Death Mountain access.
And that's Paradox Cave, and that is too much value to really ignore.
Ooh, but Tranq is not going back to finish Skull Woods, and that could cost him.
Mirror is a required item. I can see the value of going this way, though. Trying to see what is available. And as someone is pointing out in chat, the tablets are also in play now. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to go up there and check Eastern as well. So I think Willard is going to see this Ether Medallion and either save and quit to go to the mountain, or is going to leave. Yeah, he's going to leave, and he's going to go check Bombos, I think, as well as the other mirror checks while he's in the area still. Which is the better play, I think, in my opinion.
Or he could do Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, that's one of the mirror checks in the area.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it makes a little bit more sense to wait until you have Titan's Mitts to do Bombos and Cave 45 so that you can also do Smith's Chain as part of it.
That is also true. Of course, we don't know where the Titan's Mitts are, so...
Yes, the mitts could be on Bombos or in Cave 45.
Indeed. Ideally, though, we really do want to see the mirror.
Tranq is grabbing our extortionist monkey, who runs off. Tranq, you can't afford to lose him again. You barely have enough gold to bribe him now.
Barely have enough gold to bribe him?
Rupees.
I wasn't aware rupees they're golden in this world.
It's been a long week.
It has been for all of us, to be real. The commentary has been quite strained this first week of commentary for the tournament. And we still have several more weeks to go. Willard's gonna be heading up Death Mountain.
And what is in the shooter room chest? If it's not a key, Pod is logically bow-locked.
It's a key.
So down the rabbit hole we go.
There are 4 small keys in the front half of Pod to make sure nothing is key locked. So ideally, Tranq would want to see a small key in the next chest, which is going to be the arena bridge. 50 rubies from the old man. Not amazing, but that is a little bit more less work from us. Alright, so we can get to the back of Skullwoods. Or not
I mean,
Skullwoods,
pod.
Yes, pod.
Yeah, so the logical next check at this point is vanilla big key chest.
Yep. Check if it's a 1-to-1 key ratio. 20 rubies on top of Spectral Rock. Meanwhile, inside Spectral Rock, with a shovel.
Gotta get that because you never know where it'll lead.
And it's 50 rupees, so there is at least one key locked on the bow lock side. And there's a third key to make up for it, so we do still have access, thankfully. So I think this means the boss is the only thing that's bow locked in this dungeon by technicality.
And the two items that are actually on, well, one of them is a key, but there could be an item here.
That's right. And Tranq's gonna take advantage of that green potion and break the camera. Did he do that too soon? No, he's got it. So as long as he resets his camera, he's fine. And it should automatically fix itself going in here.
And Willard's going to show us Ether Tablet.
Not much on Death Mountain thus far. So there's the 4 small key. And the item that was on Laser Bridge is just a compass. Or not, I said Laser Bridge. What the heck's wrong with me tonight?
Okay, so nothing in pod is logically bow locked except for Helmasaur.
That's good to know.
And maybe Helmasaur will have the map or something, and we can clear out all the items now, though we'll have to come back in here to get the crystal.
So, I hope Willard likes his coffee. Because he's going to need to take a break here in a little bit.
Oh, Willard very much likes his coffee.
Jokes aside, folks, it's time. The big key is in the basement, so we have to wait for these 24 tiles, or is it 22 tiles?
22.
22, yes, right, because in Randomizer, one of the formations is level 4 from Zelda 1. So,
And
yeah.
you happen to remember that that's 22 rooms?
Yes. I do commentary for them as well.
Okay, that's it for keys and pod. Everything else has to be either an item or the big key or the map. Or was the big key in that chest?
Big key was in the turtle chest.
Okay, so items in the map are all that's left.
So let's see what we got here. Willard now with big key is gonna head up. Drake's gotta be a little bit careful here. Does have the fairy in the bottle. There's the map, so Galvestor does have an item. Three bombs.
And here's our last check in pod.
And it's a heart piece. Oh no!
Oh, it filled him up and now he can't death warp.
That was a 4th heart piece. He released the fairy for nothing. Rip. Oh, you hate to see it sometimes. And there is a way you can check if you have 4 heart pieces. Just in case that happens.
On your menu.
Yeah. But in Dungeons, you normally have it overlaid with the map's compass big key, but if you press select, you can see it.
Now, Tranq does not have the mirrors, so he must have wanted to save and continue out of pod to get to Pyramid and Catfish.
Makes sense.
And Willard picks up the green pendant, who knows
Well, there was nothing of note in Tower Hair that I saw.
Right, if the hospital has nothing, Willard just wasted quite a bit of time on Hera.
I mean, Hera's a somewhat fast track.
It is when you don't have to do tile room.
Yeah, but that's also time sunk if Tranq also wants to check.
We'll see at what point Tranq goes up Death Mountain.
Probably when Tranq finds the mirror.
Yeah, he's still gonna have to finish Skullwoods.
Yeah, this is an unfortunate byproduct of how he chose to route his early Dark World. He chose to do Skullwoods first, and then go to the town. Found a sword in the town, didn't go back and finish Skullwoods, whereas Willard found the sword first and was able to full clear Skullwoods on the first run through. And ultimately got rewarded for that routing as a result.
Willard now in Paradox Cave, where he can do mirror deletion. Oh, and Tranq takes a death in that pit.
Oh, that's not good. And he lost the fairy too, so or he didn't have the fairy either.
Yes.
That's a huge setback.
He's now orphaned catfish. He has to hope that there's nothing important there.
Well, we'll see later. Willard meanwhile finding 50 rupees. The boots! And the mushroom. Ooh. Another 50. And 300. Well, there's Zora money right there.
And there's Eastern and Pod being full clearable.
Yeah, with the bow. In fact, hang on a moment. Nope, still need the flute and hookshot for go mode, and the times meds.
And the flippers.
And the flippers. And medallion dependent on Meyer, so still, it could be Quake. So we're not in go mode, yeah, not by a long shot, but we've got a lot of the pieces to start clearing quite a few dungeons.
Nice shovel dash by Willard, and doesn't want the swag net.
Nope, I don't blame him. It's good if you want have it compare it with the powder, but we haven't seen that yet. And even then, most people just powder the 2 anti-fairies at the top and call it a day.
Willard's picking up his bow.
Now, I don't know if that is a glitch or not, but you notice the bow was silver?
Yeah, I did notice that.
Now, this is just my
Once he
curiosity.
picked it up, it turned regular.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's just a byproduct of it, the silver arrow coloration.
Ooh, Willard's gonna fake powder here.
Makes sense to me. You're in the area. So yeah, maybe that was... If this was the version 31, that would have been the silver.
There's a strange glitch in the game where if you attempt to... Well, now we have medallions. But if you attempt to use the Cane of Samaria when you're out of magic and then immediately switch to the mushroom, the game will think you used the powder. It can also be useful for powdering anti-fairies to turn them into fairies.
People in the chat are a little bit more informed about that glitch than I am. And I really need to study up on these, apparently. And yeah, it's as long as you have an item in that spot as well with the fake powder. You can even use the real powder like that. It's something to do with the animation frames or something. I don't really remember. Willard's going to be heading over to do Pod Eastern now. And turn in the green pennant while he's at it. So we'll see if that was important as well.
And we'll get our first look at Eastern.
So the only thing Tranq has going for him right now is Quake and the Ice Rod. We don't know if the flute could be Internal Rock for all we know.
Though it's moot until we get Titan's mitts.
Indeed. Arrow was not necessary at all, but up to 11 hearts, it's a pretty okay health total to have going forward.
Yeah, Willard plays on expert mode. He can beat Ganon with 6 hearts and green mail.
Yeah. Alright, so Tranq will be heading into Skull Woods. We'll be getting the mirror.
And I'm noticing Willard still has Zora money even after paying off Kiki, so he'll probably do that once he's done with Pod and Eastern. Catfish Zora together.
Actually, did Willard pick up the bow? I don't recall seeing him do it.
Remember we had the discussion about how it looked silver?
Oh, right. My memory is not that great tonight.
As we said, it's been a long week.
Indeed. And the best part about Willard's position right now, he doesn't have any magic, but you don't really need magic in Palace of Darkness. And he'll get a full refill from defeating Helmstar King later.
Speaking of magic, Tranq using some Fire Rod strats on Moth, which is a bit more effective than Magic Sword, and Master Sword, rather. And now he just needs to go back in and get his mirror. So I'm guessing Tranq's gonna go up Death Mountain. Unfortunately, it means he's gonna have to double dip Pod. He already had to double dip Skull Woods.
Yeah, these double dips are going to cost him some time, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, again, it's part of how he chose to route the Skull Woods and the Village of Alchemist area. Like, no judgment against him, it's just, you got unlucky, that's all there is to it.
Well, and then he decided not to go back to Skull Woods while he was still in the area after getting his swords.
Yeah.
But he could make up a bit of time if he decides not to bother with Hera. Or
We'll
at
see if he
least
does.
goes in and decides not to bother once he discovers that the big key is in its vanilla location.
Yeah, again, the only thing going for him right now is Quake. But we'll see if that is even required. Willard, meanwhile, on his way to Helmer's King, has cleared out this place. We'll see what item they are holding in a little bit. Or it is holding. Bleh. Words. Ugh.
Well, if you refer to it as Dino Kitty, it can sort of be plural because it's both a dino and a kitty, right?
I suppose. That's a bit of a stretch, unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned.
I was just trying to
Anyway.
come up with something there. Yes, and you were saying about Willard not needing magic in Pod, but, well, he did have to drag that statue as a result of not having any magic.
That is true, I suppose.
Willard makes short work of those terrapins. Oh, Tranq's gonna take the coffee break too, so he unfortunately has missed his opportunity to make up some time on Willard.
I mean, for all he knows, the item could be up here. But I think we missed that there was a red bottle up here somewhere. So,
Yeah, he'll get the fourth bottle.
at least all those are known. And Helmsar King had 20 rupees. But more importantly, one of our crystals that we need. In fact, something that just crossed my mind is Pyramid Fairies and Logic.
No, oh yes, it is. Now that we have boots, desert is logically full clearable. Yes.
And Pod was the other 5/6. So we could have the flippers there. We could have the flute there. Hookshot can be there. Although Hookshot doesn't do much on its own. I wouldn't be surprised if Willard decided to do. Well, Willard's probably. Oh, there's the flipper, so it can't be that now. And that puts ice in logical access, although we don't really want to go in ice.
It also puts the front of swamp in access.
That's true. We could have a French vanilla hook shot. And yeah, right. Tad's running out. I forgot the mitts are required for ice. Oh man.
Yeah, this is a long time to go without the mitts.
Yeah. We have Darkhold access not even 7 minutes in. And we're now nearly an hour in, and we still don't have access to it.
Oh, and there was that bottle we were talking about. Tranq just picked it up.
Alright, looks like it's vanilla big key here in Eastern. Hammer mold arm.
It only takes 3 hits. You just have to land those hits pretty precisely.
Yeah. It's a pretty easy fight when you can use the hammer. And that's another green pendant, which only becomes a heart hitter, as we have found out. So that is a time sink both runners have taken, and both runners have not gotten anything out of yet. But it's probably the only dungeon they're gonna dip in terms of pendants. I don't see them fighting Trinex or Cold Stare unless they have an item, and we end up needing it.
Looks like the last item is on the Armos Knights.
Where was Tranq going? He got deadrocked out of it anyway, but he wouldn't have been able to use the portal there. He doesn't have the Titan's mitts.
Probably down to Paradox?
Well, at this point in the game, even though Spiral Cave takes a while without boots and turned out not to have anything in it, it would make more sense to go down through Spiral Cave.
Alright, here we go, Armos Knights. We're setting up. And that is well executed. Cave leads to nothing that we know of right now. Bummer Cave
Well,
has nothing.
It puts Spike Cave in logic.
I was about to say that, yeah. And with half magic, that is doable with just the cave. No damage boosting. And Tranq about to get the bad news. He's left quite a bit behind.
Oh, and Willard saved and quit. He didn't wind up doing all those East Dark World checks.
Probably because it's faster. Yeah, Willard's doing this because it's a little bit faster than going out of the main. Or is he heading to Swamp? Nope, gonna be checking the south bound checks here.
Well, we haven't seen Cave 45.
Yep, the Cave South Grove, as I call it, because I think that's a better name for it. And that's the only reason.
I just find it amusing that the community decided to meme call it after a number and that stuck.
I think that's actually it's just a cave without a name, so they just call it by the number. Or in the list.
Is that like a horse with no name?
I don't know.
Well, Tranq's picking up his bow now.
Well, they're just checking bombos.
And yes, I'm aware the number 45 is because it was labeled as such on the map, but
Hook
you know,
shot!
every other cave. Okay.
That puts 12 in full clear. I would beeline
Willard's
that.
probably gonna go there.
No.
Or
Gonna do desert
desert
first.
and get the other crystal.
That makes perfect sense. And then Willard can also, after doing Swamp, go turn in the Super Bomb, check the Pyramid, and then maybe go continue north to Catfish. And then go pay Zora.
But at this point, all we're looking for now is Flute and Titan's Mitts.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a stretch to just finish cleaning up the rest of South and East Hyrule after doing all of this.
Willard will also be able to tell us what those two items on the right side of desert are.
Indeed. These are items that Tranq could have gotten, but chose to fight the boss instead. Which is soundly the better move, but was coming here too early the right play overall? That's the actual question.
Well, overall, Willard's playing a bit more conservatively, keeping most things in logic. He didn't go into pod until he had the bow. He didn't go into desert until he had the boots.
Yeah.
Because he's up 1-0 He can afford to play conservatively. Tranq has to take risks, and unfortunately, they haven't been paying off.
And Willard did not check the items on the right side.
probably figures since he has to beat the back anyway, he might as well see if Lanmo has an item, and then if the second item were to be in the front of the right side, he wouldn't have to go to the back.
I mean, that's sound thinking. Get the crystal first, get the item second. This is a kind of an annoying dungeon to navigate because you start right in the center of the front entrance, and you have 2 items to the right, 2 items to the left, and 1 item in the center. And usually, the item in the center is the big key, which pulls you to the left. But sometimes the small key, which pulls you to the right to get the big key, so you can go back left. And it's weird. It's just weird. Anyway, Lambo time. So Willard now sees that it's that it's 2 items on the right side, and has the 5-6.
And he is indeed going back for the 2 remaining items. Meanwhile, Tranq picking up his 4th crystal, right after Willard got his 5th.
Probably be mirroring over to go fight the Armos Knights soon. Tempered Sword was back here.
That was a nice check on the right side.
And the powder, which we know does not lead to anything.
But it's good for health refills.
Indeed. So Tempered Sword will make the Ganon fight a lot more tolerable if we can't find the silvers, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, saves a huge amount of time, especially on the first 2 phases. But even on the 3rd phase, it's half the number of spin slashes you need to make without silvers.
Indeed. And for those who do not exactly know what you're talking about, because you haven't seen the Ganon fight before, because this is your first time watching the randomizer, Ganon is actually immune to Master Sword slashes. You have to use spins on him to deal damage. Tempered Sword at least lets you do the slashes.
And a good runner with Tempered Sword can get through each of the first 2 phases of Ganon on a single cycle.
Indeed. But now Willard has the Ice Rod. Now, it could still be Quake up there for Turtle Rock. We don't know yet. Ideally, we would want to see a Titansmith's Go mode in this seed.
Right, because that would completely rule out Turtle Rock and Ice.
Indeed. And also Meyer, too. We just have to find the big key and go.
Well, either way, once we have access to Meyer, we'll be in Go mode.
Indeed.
Alright, Swamp is the play that Willard is making next. And this makes perfect sense because Willard can pair this with checking Super Bomb, Mushroom, Catfish, and Zora. As well as the Pyramid.
And hopefully Tranq will do those mirror checks because he's going to need that hook shot.
Having that Tempered Sword also for Swamp is actually ideal as well. Let you kill the
Yeah.
pups a little bit faster.
Yeah, it's only a single slash to kill the little R guy.
I like that that's their name. I just forgot until just now.
Well, the logical plural of Argus, right?
Yeah, and also I looked in the enemy database a while ago. Most of it's leaked out of my brain, but I did remember our guy as being the name of the little puffballs.
So Tranq now on Armos. Armos, not Argus. Having a
These
bit
are.
more trouble setting things up.
I mean, it makes sense that they're called Armos instead of Armos. They're not pirates after all. They're just statues. Willard bonk in there. No big deal.
It'll just increment his bonks count in the closing credits. I was watching Tranq though, so I don't know how many dungeon items did or didn't show up for Willard so far.
He might menu to the fire right here for a quick kill against Argus. You can see his menu then.
Oh yeah, he probably will.
Yeah, and I know that Willard has at least picked up the big key. He has no map or compass, so...
Okay. So there is a chance that there's an item on Argus and an item in the big chest, and the 2 dungeon items are left side.
Well, that's a nope, and that's a Titan's Mitts. That's the one thing we actually did not want to see. Until later.
That opens up everything but Meyer.
Yep. So it's flute for go mode.
And the flute could be anywhere, including on Trinex and on Cold Stare.
Yep. The one place it can't be is the one dungeon we're not going to touch. Gan's Tower.
And Willard, again, playing conservatively. He's not going to take the risk that that last item in Swamp is something important.
But someone is taking a super bomb around the world. Let's see what Tranq's going to find here. There's the map, so it's the compass as well as the last item, Swamp, on the left side. And yeah, for those tuning in late, this is a fast Ganon goal. Well, that is what Tranq decided to make it. So we do not need to fight the wizard tonight. Pyramid Fairy for us tonight has the silvers and 10 arrows to fire them with.
Vanilla silvers. That also means that...
First logical bow was the one in library.
Yep. Because you needed pod to get those silvers.
And desert, which was boots locked. So, the boots locked both the bows this seed.
Which means that the mirror was really the key item for the whole seed.
Indeed.
Because the mirror locked the boots, as well as the hook shot.
Mirror revealed all this seed, really. If you want to go that far. And that's the bombs, that's the last item. Here's the catfish. And the catfish has 20 rupees. Willard has max normal wallet. He has 999 rupees. We've allowed a form integer here in Randomizer.
Which is a pure coincidence because, yes, I've seen on Rare Seeds over 2,000 rupees on a runner.
Yeah, Randomizer can get kind of insane with how much money is actually available.
So Tranq's best hope is probably if Zora has the flute, except that Willard's probably going to be up here soon, so it wouldn't give Tranq much of an advantage.
Of course, for all we know, the flute could be on Trinex. I don't know, where do we want that flute to be?
Well, what do we have left at this point? Besides Ice and Turtle Rock, we have the Dark Death Mountain checks.
Smith Chain.
Right, Smith Chain. I don't think we've seen Bonk Rocks or King's Tomb.
Nope. And Willard is going to get the one thing that Tranq would have had an advantage of if it was necessary, but now it is not going to matter. Willard's going to be heading down into the escape and picking up the Quake Medallion in Zelda Cell.
While Tranq picks up the Bombos, and then they'll both have a complete coin set.
And that also means that the medallion that we require is moot. It is just the flute we need. And right now, Willard is in the driver's seat with the Titan Spits in hand. Or I guess I could say on hand.
So it looks like Tranq might be giving us that Bonk Rocks check. Without the mitts, he's not going to be able to get to King's Tomb from here.
Alright, let's see what the Bonk Rocks have. It's armor. We haven't seen that all game.
No one minds getting blue mail, but it's not especially what you want to see when you already have 13 hearts.
Yeah, 13 blue is pretty safe, I'd say.
Oh, and Tranq's gonna fake powder now and discover that it's nothing.
Which is a little bit more annoying when you, for him anyway, when you realize powder is available to him. Powder's just sitting there in desert. And he has the boots, he can go clear it. Actually, was the mushroom turned in by either one of the runners? No, it hasn't.
Did Willard not turn in the mushroom?
He just passed by the potion shop, didn't turn it in.
Yeah, I meant did he not turn it in earlier and I missed it, but chat's saying nope, so that's kind of interesting.
I think he still has it. Because he kept it for fake powder.
Right, and we were expecting him to turn it in when he did right side, Dark World. But he now did that and skipped right by it.
Well, he can still get it later if he does Bonk Rocks, King's Tomb, and Witch's Hut. It's just going to be a little bit more out of the way. Trying taking advantage of a full health in that tree if you bonk it. Or, not full health, full magic.
Now, where's Tranq going? Did he not check ped? I thought they both did. No, he's not going that way.
Kingston.
Oh, right, because he doesn't have... and Graveyard Ledge, I don't think he did that either.
Well, Graveyard Ledge wasn't anything of importance. Kingston might be. Here's the mushroom check now from Willard, finally.
I'll have to ask him afterwards why that was a better routing for the mushroom check than just getting it when he passed by would have been.
Probably so that he can head over to King's Tomb immediately after. That's my assumption, because he hasn't saved and quit yet.
Yeah, but he could have saved and quit to Sanctuary otherwise.
I think that's what he did.
Oh, this timer. Yes, he could have gotten Mushroom, though, the first time through and then saved and quit to Sanctuary and gone straight to King's Tomb, but... what do I know?
I mean, we don't know what's in these runners' heads. If we did, we'd probably be the ones racing instead of the ones commentating, wouldn't we?
Indeed. So Tranq's also going to find out that there's nothing in King's Tomb.
Which is his 14th heart. A lot of health this seed.
And Willard's going to turn blue very shortly.
And, oh, jeez, I think it's the fountain.
Or Smith Chain.
Yeah, but Smith Chain's only 3 items now, with the blacksmiths, the hammer pegs, and the purple chest. Whereas there's 6 items in Super Bunny, Paradox, plus let's not forget the items that are in Turtle Rock as well.
And the item in Spike Cave.
Yeah, so overall, this is probably the better play.
Yeah, and since Willard's playing conservatively and happens to be in the lead, he can afford to do it. Tranq now is at a point where he's going to have to take risks if he wants to be able to catch up.
Yeah, and as a reminder, Tranq is behind 1 game. He needs to win this in order to not fall into the losers bracket of Group S. And that's spin speed right there in Spike Cave. Always intrigued to see that.
Yeah, not every day you see a runner walk out of Spike Cave.
We'll just have to be a little careful here, though. Down to 2.5 hearts.
Well, apart from the Lionels, there aren't really enemies up here. And Tranq's about to get his hook shot.
That's going to be a good thing for Tranq. But is it too little, too late?
And he's not going back to Desert.
Gonna have a slower Argus fight as a result.
Yeah.
Still doable.
Yeah, no, it's just gonna cost him more time is the thing. I don't doubt his ability to do it.
Unfortunately, it's all going to come down to where that flute is. Which, Willard's not getting lucky. So, there is a small chance, and if I say this loosely, there is a small chance Tranq can come back from this. If the flute is in Ice Palace, and Tranq beelines the Ice Palace and gets the flute before Willard finishes Turtle Rock here, and it's barren, Tranq could pull ahead and pull a win from behind.
Or
It
if the
is
flute's on
possible.
Smith Chain and he does Smith Chain, because Smith Chain has as many items as Ice Palace.
That is also true.
But yes, the one thing that's going to make the race almost unwinnable for him is either if the flute is on Dark Death Mountain or if Tranq heads up to Dark Death Mountain, because then he's just following Willard's footsteps.
Exactly. He needs to tread new ground. Tranq can get ahead, but only if he treads new ground. Problem is, he doesn't know which ground has been already, which is what that is. And
Right,
Willard
so-
could just get the flute anyway and just lock it in.
Yeah, I mean, Tranq basically has to metagame and think, what's Willard likely to do? I need to do something else.
Willard almost skipping right side here. I was wondering what he was doing.
I wonder if he was just trying to see if maybe the flute was in Chain Chomp chest and he could leave. And while the runners are making their way around, this is a good opportunity to say, please give them a follow. They are putting on a good show for us tonight, and while this potentially is their last race this week, they will both be back next week in the next week of groups. One of the winner of this series will be playing BBB Kermit, and the loser will be playing Kern of Kern Jump infamy.
Yeah, a lot of good people in this bracket. And across the entire tournament as well.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with BBB Kermit, but he beat Kern 2 games to nothing, and that's not a trivial feat.
Also, I suppose we haven't talked about the sprites yet here. We have Garfield on WillardJBradley, so the bunny sprite is Odie. And we actually have the Twilight Princess Wolf from Twilight Princess as Tranq sprite. And honestly, that's my favorite sprite, my new favorite sprite.
There have to be over 100 sprites available at this point. I haven't counted, but it sure looks like it.
Alright. So far, Willard has not found the flute here. Tranq
Yeah, and again, he was hoping maybe Big Chest and I don't have to go into Mimic Cave, but no.
I mean, Mimic is not that slow to check. There's the flute! Willard's down go mode.
Oh boy, yeah, this is now Willard's race to lose.
Yep. And really, it wasn't really Tranq's fault. He just got some bad luck having to double dip several dungeons. Just had bad luck with the randomizer. It happens.
Yeah. Well, the bad luck was doing Skullwoods first. The unfortunate choice was not going back to Skullwoods immediately once he got the sword.
Yeah, but he also dipped desert, hoping to get an item there. Turns out both items were key locked. And he's left the sword behind there as well. And also doing pod without the bow, which ended up being not the right play because, again, did not do Skullwoods with the sword, which led to the mirror, which locked pretty much the entire scene. So Willard just needs to find the big key and go.
Well, at least Tranq went back to Hobo and got Bombos.
Yeah, Bombos was the one that was required. So there's the time for Tranq. He needs to go up the Turtle Rock. Probably not going to do it. At least not right away. He's got way too much open.
Yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice.
Alright, where is... It's gonna be... It looks like Tranq is now gonna head into desert and get the 2 items out there.
Oh, that's true, by the way. Chad is pointing out that Quake was now required because it locked the flute.
Ah, that's true.
So it's a good thing Willard went back into the front of Escape.
Indeed. That would have been Tranq's saving grace had Willard not done that. Could have been a much different race if Willard actually did not get his hands on the Quake Medallion.
Now, we do not have a Godmire today, so let's see how much searching it takes to dig up the big key.
We see a small key in the room just north of these torches. Which we don't, it's the item.
Yeah, I don't know exactly the logic, but there's something that pairs the compass chest and the vanilla big key chest, and there's something that pairs lobby chest and map room chest. Speaking of lobby chest, there was our big key.
I think it's the keys in the north side of the dungeon. I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, there's the big key, and it's now time for Willard to go fight Vitreous.
Now, one thing, though, is since the runners did not beat Aga, they don't have a fast route to Pyramid to fight Ganon.
No, but they could mirror Flute to 4 and go to the Dark World portal and go around to the pyramid from there.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably their fastest way. I'm just saying it'll take a minute or two.
Yeah. And this is the last crystal we need to pick up, but as a reminder, folks, this is Fast Ganon, so we have no... Unfortunately, we cannot do our long-standing tradition of the GT Big Key guessing game. Because we don't need to go up there. We just go straight to Ganon.
Also, with those silvers, the Vitreous fight should be pretty quick.
Indeed. Vitreous is just going to melt.
Or pop.
That was a strange choice of words, but yeah. It's going to... Vitreous is not going to have a fun time. Let's just say that much.
That was, what, a 5-second Vitreous fight?
Yeah, compared to the 20. Which just also had a small key on him. But yeah, folks, that is the 7th crystal, and because it is fast gain, we are going straight to the pyramid to fight the pig.
And with tempered and silvers, that should be a nice fast fight too.
Indeed.
So Tranq will now head over to Turtle Rock.
I like the people still guessing, even though there is no big guessing game going on.
42, yes, there we go.
Tranq did make the right move in the end, though. Was going to Turtle Rock.
That said, barring a Ganon fall, I'm guessing Willard will have beaten the game before Tranq picks up his flute.
Probably.
But
these joke guesses are really good in chat. They're not thinking this is the crossover randomizer. That's really good.
I mean, I think we're having all-out numerology in chat right now. Yep, Willard was able to get through phase 1 in a single cycle, and with this many slashes, he should get through phase 2 in a single cycle as well.
Yep. 12 slashes or 6 spins for the first 2 phases, and then 1 more sword slash for each time Ganon decides to stomp the ground, to make Ganon stomp the ground. After which, keep the torches lit during the darkness technique, stun him with a sword, and let loose 4 silver arrows. And that's GG. Here we go. The darkness technique begins. The lights will go off as soon as the last tile falls. Gets a nice Stunlock double. Stunlock triple even!
And also the torch glitch.
Yeah,
but it doesn't even matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your G's in the chat for WillardJBradley, who will be moving on to finish this, to the winner's bracket of Group S. And he has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 52 seconds. And we are now joined by WillardJBradley himself. Congratulations, sir, on your win here tonight. What a scene this was. A pretty hectic one overall.
Yeah, you could say that again.
Pretty hectic one overall.
He did it. He said the thing. Yeah. I mean, 7-minute Dark World. That's a good way to start a hectic seed like that.
And then flute for go mode when you had like 3 different options.
I'm so mad because I kept saying to myself, "Give me flute first. Give me flute first."
We were saying that too.
And then Mitts show up, and it's like, all right, well, I already had this set path. And none of it's like locked by Mitts when Mitts is probably, obviously the progression that I needed to get the flute. But I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. It worked out because I found Quake, and then yeah, it was just a coin flip of T-Rock, Ice Palace, or Smith Chain, and I still had Dark Death Mountain, so I said, well, all or nothing.
So, to set the stage here a little bit, because I'm not sure if you saw the full thing.
Well,
Tranq,
that would have been hard to do.
Yeah, you and Tranq were neck and neck going into the Dark World, but the main difference started right as you both entered Dark World. Tranq went into Skull Woods as soon as possible, and did not go back when he got the sword.
Did he go all the way to the back to check that if there was a sword in the fire rod section?
He did not.
Okay, so he got the ether out of Big Chest and then never went, and then put it off the second item for a while.
Yeah, which was the mirror.
Yeah. And that mirror set everything in
so
motion.
much.
Because that led to boots. You know, it led to the hook shot and swamp and blah blah blah.
In fact, he just
Tranq, by the way, is now in go mode at 134 even.
Yep, just got a salute.
But yeah, as a general thing, I noticed you were very methodical about only entering dungeons you could full clear.
Yeah, I I just wanted to like, especially with the fact that I saw where the bow was. I was like, I'm gonna hold off, hope I can find the boots, then I can get the bow. Because then once you find the boots, that puts everything in motion. Because it's like, okay, boots, bow. Now I can do Pod Eastern. I can go do desert, and then Pyramid Fairy, Catfish, all that. And then I found hookshot. I was like, all right, cool, desert, swamp. And then from there, the only mistake I made was I mismarked Hera. I marked that as a crystal when it was actually Eastern. So completing that, I was like, what? And you'd think, but Will, couldn't you hear the pendant music? And I'm like, yeah, if I'm listening to that. Because I'm used to MSU with extended music, so every dungeon has its unique theme. So despite the fact that I was obviously listening to the vanilla music, I didn't even pay attention to any of that. I was just like on a roll.
Oh, we were thinking you just figured it was green pendant in a relatively short dungeon, so you might as well check the items.
It's if I thought it was a pendant, I would have bailed as soon as I saw it was basement required.
Well, that didn't end up losing you any time overall, because Tranq also decided to dip Pendant Arrow when he got up there eventually.
Yeah. It's understandable because we were kind of, running out of stuff to do and whatnot, so it'd be a pretty safe check anyway. But yeah, I got lucky that I don't think I had to double dip a single dungeon, which is very nice.
Yeah, and that's again what led to you having such a big lead over Tranq, because Tranq had a double dip Pod, double dip Desert, and double dip Skull Woods, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Okay, so he went to Desert without the boots then.
He went to Desert without the boots, and he went and did as much of Palace of Darkness without the bow as he could.
Oof. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I mean, that's a winning play every now and then. It just wasn't this time. So, I mean, here's the thing: like, this seed could have gone in so many different directions if one item was over here instead of over there, or if Flute ended up being an Ice Palace. Of course, I had that in the back of my mind of it being like first chest Ice Palace or Smith Chain. I'm like, but you just kind of have to pick something and go with it and just follow your heart and hope that works out. And fortunately, it worked out. So, yay.
Yeah, we actually discussed that as well. If Tranq had actually treaded that untouched ground while you were still in Turtle Rock, that could have been what would have actually given them the edge to maybe come back and win this. But unfortunately, that was not the case. It was in Mimic Cave.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about random with these coin flips is like, it doesn't really matter how good you are at the game. Like, it's randomizer. Anyone can win for the most part. And all it takes is just one correct choice, and that's game right there. So.
Well,
Also,
that's why we do these 2 out of 3, so that if you get lucky like that, you have to get lucky twice.
Yeah, I don't really play fast ganon that much unless it's like entrance shuffle or something. So it was kind of nice not having to think about GT or worry about getting, routing GT or anything like that. It's nice just going straight to Ganon. The only thing that's stressful is like I'm going through Meyer, like, all right, if he did this or that, he could done it any second, and because you don't have that buffer of doing GT. But at least, yeah. So that was fun.
So I want to commend you on that Ganon fight, in which Ganon was very cooperative and let you get 3 hits in the same corner.
Yeah. Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I'd rather get like an actual double, but at least he stayed there so I can hit him quick enough. I only had to light the torch once, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, that might as well have been a triple, even though it was broken up by a few sword slashes.
It was a fake triple. I'll take it.
But yeah, we pretty much found everything in the seed except for the third shield and the last boomerang, which, as far as we know.
And the last sword.
Oh yeah, the last sword too.
Yeah, probably in GT or who knows, maybe Ice. I was very happy to see that tempered sword in Desert because that was nice. And then immediately find Silvers after Swamp. I was like, all right, well, I'm set. I'm all good to go.
Both the progressive bows were locked behind boots, if you think about it.
Yep, sure were. Man, if only there was a way we could have boots at the start of the seed every time. This game would be, I don't know, so much fun. Because here's the thing, the way I routed after Dark World, because I did my hype cave up to digging game, and then I went and did a bunch of light world checks, and I was like, man, if boots are chilling in Village of Outcasts, I'm gonna be hurting. I'm gonna be feeling so bad because I could have saved so much time, especially because I did like all the fake flipper water walk stuff. So getting Bombos was good because I did need that. So, but yeah, just I'm so glad the boots were way up on Death Mountain because I was very concerned about them showing up early and me missing out.
Well, will it
And
do
all
our
told,
movie?
that.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say now that the collection rate came up, for a defeat Ganon seed, 146 is a kind of normal collection rate. For fast Ganon, it's actually kind of high, as testament to, 2 pendant dungeons in the mix.
Yeah, this is pretty high. Because with GT you add like upwards of 20 more checks, or give or take. But and especially with how deep into T Rock the flute was, it makes sense.
Well, next up is your opponent is, if I can get the title back up, you're up against BB Kermit going up later, Willard. How's your thoughts on that one?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't watched much of him play, but then again, I haven't watched much of Tranq play. I think I watched one of his races before our first race, just to kind of get an idea of like how he likes to route and listen to his thought process. But I think Kermit mostly talks in German, so I'm not going to really get that kind of information while watching him. So that's unfortunate. but he's a bud, so it'll be fun, and hopefully we can keep it close and make it fun.
Indeed. Well, good luck with you with the rest of your group stage. We're
Thank
going to
you.
be getting Tranq in here in just a little bit. He's on his way to get in right now.
Sweet. I am probably gonna head on out, grab some coffee, and I'm gonna go play some Halo. So thank you guys for commentating
Sounds
and for
good.
tracking.
Yeah,
and everyone for watching.
Thanks for chatting, and good luck to you next week.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Once again, folks, get your GGs in chat for WillardJBradley. Winner of this race and an all-around great guy. Alright, get in time for Tranq. Same rules apply here. It's a little bit more help to work with as well. 15 hearts versus Willard's 14. And should still have the red potion, just in case.
Fortunately, Tranq's getting a bit of recoil that's causing him to take a bit longer doing the slashes, so he got a 2 cycle on phase 1.
Yeah, that's understandable. Using the cape to ensure that he gets the 1 cycle on phase 2 though, and moves right along into it.
Yeah, the 1 cycle on phase 2 is really key because that's the most dangerous phase.
Yeah, that fire shield is really dangerous. The bats home in. This phase is no slouch either. If you don't hit Ganon fast enough, he'll shoot a spiraling fire bat, and the fire bats in phase 3 and 4 don't actually have knockback, they reverse your control, essentially. And they're designed that way so that you will push yourself into a pit and have to restart the entire fight.
And get your GGs in chat for Tranq, who has taken down Ganon in reasonably speedy order.
And Tranq has finished now in 2nd place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 6 seconds. Good racing from both of these two. It just came down to coin flips and double dips, really.
Yeah, some days it's just tough luck. But maybe we can get Tranq in here.
And we will, as we are now joined by him. Tranq, GG's, and good efforts here today. Hey. First off, I'm going to say this. Love your sprite choice. I know that you didn't know I was on the mic, but I'm okay with it. But in seriousness, walk us through the Skullwoods Village of Outcasts sort of mindset here, because that's really when things started to differ on this race.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
There you go. I could not hear you guys, actually. My audio wasn't working. Now it should be fixed.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just asked you, how was about the Skullwoods Village of Outcasts scenario, and what was going through your mind at that point?
I wanted to do Skull Woods, but I didn't have a sword at the time. And then I don't remember where that first sword was. I think it was in Thieves?
It was in
Or it was
Sea
just
House.
outside of Thieves. Sea House, right.
Yeah, second sword was on Blind.
Yeah. That's where it was, yeah. And I just completely forgot to go back up to Skull Woods because I knew there were one more item left behind there. But I decided to go check a couple of locations instead of heading back north, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just tough luck that one item locked the rest of the seed.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, I think I had basically Skull Woods, Spike Cave, and Ice Rod Cave left at that point, and I did the exact same thing on the hook shot, with just Spike Cave and Ice Rod Cave left when I found that one.
Yeah. Willard, this probably won't surprise you, but Willard did not actually double dip any of the locations. He actually had made sure to find everything. But you didn't pull the punches there for the early part, at least. You were both pretty neck and neck. This could have gone either way. And even when you were still looking for the flute, if it was not in Mimic Cave, if you'd gone to like Smith Chain or Ice Palace and it was there, you could have possibly pulled ahead and, or at least closed the gap significantly.
Yeah, I definitely was not happy when I found those mitts. I was hoping to find the flute first because it locked so much less.
Willard was
We
saying
all
the same
were.
thing.
We all were hoping that it was flute before mitts.
Yeah, those mitts basically gave you a 50-50-50 coin flip. 3 different locations you can go to, and it came down to which was the right one. And it looks like we made the same one.
Indeed.
So you're now going to be going on to face Kern next week. What are you thinking on that one?
Just hoping to play solid and give him a run for his money and just do the best I can, I guess.
Best you can hope for. Well, thank you for giving us a great race tonight. Hey, folks, get your GGs in the chat once again for Tranq. And of course, our winner, WillardJBradley. Make sure to follow them both here on Twitch. They deserve it more so than us here on the commentary booth, but it was me, myself, Drosy, and our tracker, Spam Musub. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. And of course, make sure to follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 226 so you don't miss any racing action, not just the Link to the Past Randomizer. We also have featured some of our tournament races on a Link to the Past Randomizer and a Link to the Past Randomizer 225 on Twitch as well. Musubi.
We'll be having a ton of them next week, and there are a lot more this weekend, and there's several more left tonight, in fact. Just to go over the rest of the evening schedule, on the main Speed Gaming channel at 10:30, we have Chloe Prower versus Aussie 101. Right here on SG3 at 11:30, we will have Brewers Fan JP against Frostbite 3030. And on Speed Gaming 2, there's currently Hitaka versus Koi Game 1, and they will be following that with Game 2 as soon as Game 1 finishes. So Speed Gaming 1 through 3 is going to give you a full evening tonight.
And it's going to continue into the midnight hours as well, because that last match will be at the midnight hour. But with that all being said and done, folks, that's going to do it for us here. So from all of us here at the Link to the Past Randomizer 2019 tournament, I have been Wolfling0370, and we will see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.